Glad you could join us. Now, in our first story, the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, has issued an arrest warrant for Samuel Adam Foster in connection with his role in the Airbus bribery scandal. He is being charged for accepting bribes to influence a public officer and acting in collaboration with the public officer for that person's private gain. Now, according to Interpol, for the offense, he's liable to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 25 years. The arrest warrant, which was issued on July 10, said once Mr. Adam Mahama is traced, assurances are given that an extradition will soon be sought upon the arrest of that person. Now, in conformity with national laws and/or all applicable bilateral and multilateral treaties, Ghana is one of 5 countries in which the European aviation giant Airbus paid or attempted to pay millions of dollars in bribes in exchange for contracts, leading to a court in Britain to slap a fine of £3 billion on the company. In the court documents and hearings, Airbus admitted 5 counts of failing to prevent bribery, using a network of secret agents to pay large-scale backhanders to officials in foreign countries, including Ghana, to land high-value contracts. Now, according to the report, there are 6 key actors involved in the scandal regarding Ghana. Now, head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, will join us shortly for some analysis. Now, the arrest warrant for the judicial decision is on a number of charges. The first is accepting a bribe to influence a public officer. As you can see, they're also acting in collaboration with the public officer for the public officer's private profit. There's a law covering the offense, which is Section 2521 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. There's also Section 179CB and 179D of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. Now, the maximum penalty, as I said earlier, is 25 years, 99 months, and 99 days. The details are that you will be liable to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 25 years under Section 2965 of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 1960. You're liable to a fine of not less than 250 penalty units, I believe. Now, the name of the signatory is, if you're also up here, Circuit Court Judge. The copy of the arrest warrant available at the General Secretariat in the language used by the requesting country. Now, this is what is contained in the red notice for the arrest of Samuel Adam Foster. Now, Deputy Information Minister Pius Enam Hajide says the ongoing investigation into the Airbus bribery saga is an opportunity for John Dramani Mahama to show he's innocent, if he is. He says the opposition NDC is running away from said investigation, which puzzles him.
My position is that this investigation is fair to Mr. Mahama, John Dramani Mahama. You know why?
Tell me.
I have listened to a lot of narrative that seeks to suggest that he is government official 1. What if he is not?
You don't believe he is?
No. Never mind what I believe. People say that, they say, oh, the man, his brother is a senior member of government. In fact, they mentioned government official 1. All these investigations are fair to Mr. Mahama.
Okay. So you believe that it's an opportunity for him to clear his name?
Why are they running away from the investigation? But you see, this story broke long ago, and I found Mr. John Dramani Mahama's silence, his prolonged silence on this matter, I found it rather insulting to the integrity and intelligence of Ghanaians. We gave you power, we voted for you, we entrusted you with the machinery of state. Here was investigations conducted by credible institutions such as the SFO of UK, such as its counterpart in France and its counterpart in the US. As for the US, there were 2 institutions. All of them came to one conclusion. This Airbus matter It is not. It didn't just happen in the UK.
Right.
It was also investigated in the US and in Paris, and all of them were unanimous in their decision. And they said that government officials under your watch as president, Mr. Mahama disrespected the whole of Ghana and chose to keep quiet. Can you imagine that you are hosting this show, and then they said something happened on the show this morning, and then we decide not to talk about it, not to report to Kositum, not to report to your shareholders. I mean, it's not your show. The presidency was not Mr. Mahama's presidency. It was the people of Ghana's presidency. And they entrusted that power to you. And they said that your state officials that were under your watch, this happened. The least I expected was at least an official explanation or even a denial.
Now, NDC flag bearer John Mahama's choice of running mate has been hailed by some as a masterstroke that will win votes for the opposition party from gender advocates. Mr. Mahama has been giving details why he settled on Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Now, speaking at a call of the founder of the party, Jerry John Rawlings, Mr. Mahama said his running mate is competent and that was the deciding factor for him.
We're not choosing her just because she's a woman. She has the kind of credentials that make her worthy of the nomination. She's been a lecturer in the University of Cape Coast for so many years, and she came out as the first female vice chancellor of a public university in Ghana. I appointed her as Minister of Education, and she served with integrity, without blemish. She did quite a lot in the area of education. She supervised the free school uniforms program, the free school sandals program. In her time, at the time we came into office, in the basic schools, 4 children used to share 1 textbook. By the time she left office as education minister, each child had 4 textbooks to themselves. And this improved learning in our country. Under her watch in the Ministry of Education, Ghana for 3 successive years scored the highest in the West African school certificate examination. And we took the 3 top spots consecutively. I had the honor to present the awards to the students at the time. So she did talk a lot. She started a program for the new secondary schools, the E-blocks. We commissioned a little over 40 of them, but by the time we left office, at least 73 of them were almost ready for occupation. And so there's a lot that she's done to be worthy of being nominated, and I want to thank you for the collaboration we shared in coming to that decision.
Now, Mr. Rawlings says Professor Opoku-Agyeman's integrity makes her stand tall.
It's your integrity that earned you this position to be chosen as a running mate. And I think it's important that you do everything possible to hold on to that integrity. Yeah. It wasn't the size of any gun or the size of your account that made this possible. So I think it's also equally important that in coming on board, you're coming through the right door and not through the wrong door. Like guns used to claim we used to do with our children before their baptism. You know, I watched an interview. No, it was a panel discussion. I think it should be put out there for quite a number of people to see. And I think you should visit some of these institutions and share, your thoughts with them. Let people wake up to your value.
We've been joined by legal practitioner Christian Malm-Hesse on this. Good morning, Mr. Hesse. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning. Good to have you.
Great. So in the first place, what's your take on the Supreme Court's decision, which was released yesterday?
It is, in as much as they want to create a novelty, there are far-reaching consequences that it requirements, like application for passport, the Ghana card, amongst others. So those are the preliminary remarks that I would put across. It has far-reaching consequences.
What kind of consequences?
Yeah, you'd realize that when you look at the Article 6 of the 1992 Constitution, it indicates that a person born in Ghana or out of Ghana should have one of the parentage being a Ghanaian, as in born in Ghana, or the grandparent. Now, if you also juxtapose this to the Citizenship Act 2000, Act 591, it also basically states the same thing. And if you also look at the space of the birth certificate, it has the name of the person. It also contains the parentage, whether both parties, both parents were born in Ghana or one of them, and where the person's hometown, and all of those details. So the birth certificate captures entirely what the Constitution requires of it. And the mere fact that one holds it in law, we say that until determined otherwise, there's a presumption that we are citizens. And I believe that that is where the departure of the justices began. You understand? Because even as an adult male, there's always a presumption that until otherwise proven, you might not be the biological child of your mother. That's one of the primary things that you learn in the law of evidence. So that is where I believe my Lord departed. But again, just opposing it to the reality and the other constitutional arrangements in the country with respect to how we have come up with the statutory creation of birth and death. We also have the authority that puts out the Ghana card. If you look at the Ghana card, even if you go to their website, they have given you criteria within which the application could suffice for a Ghana card. The first one has to do with a valid birth certificate, followed by a valid passport, followed by a valid certified or a certificate of acquired citizenship, before it goes to talk about other documents which would be used to harmonize your application, such as DVLA license, NHIS, PIN, passport, and all of these things. And even if you go to the passport office, one of the very important source documents used there in coming out with that particular security document is the birth certificate. So when I say that it's going to have a far-reaching consequence, looking at the totality of all of these constitutional arrangements, definitely such a defined ruling, judgment of the apex court would definitely go to affect how these institutions would have to redraft their policies to align to what the court has said. Yeah.
Mr. Mohammed, very well said. Thank you very much for that elucidation there. Have a good day. Now, getting infected with COVID-19 is already a traumatic experience for patients, but it is even the post-recovery experiences that some say is equally stressful. Head of cardiology at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital advises such patients to not only learn to cope with their current state, but also make use of organic foods on the market and post-recovery therapies. Dr. Joseph Akama was speaking to Mama V. also Abuaje on the AM show.
So you recover from the virus, but some people go into this post-viral syndrome, which can take a long time. So the common symptoms, like you mentioned, is the persistent fatigue. And then you have diffuse muscle aches, bone pains, muscle aches chronically. Then you have depressive symptoms, chronic headache. And then when you sleep, you don't get to rest. Even though you sleep, you don't get to rest. So these are the common ones. But COVID is new. COVID-19 is new. We don't know what are the consequences. Now the data is coming out. So all of these symptoms, nausea, tiredness, joint pains, these are all the things that we're getting to see. In my practice, I see patients at the University of Ghana Medical Center who have had COVID, and I see them for various reasons. Let me also tell the population, my Ghanaians, my fellow Ghanaians, don't say that because you have hypertension or heart failure, you're going to die if you get COVID and you get petrified, you get stressed. No, I'm seeing up to 5 people who had bad heart conditions, diabetes, who are doing well. People with combination, they had hypertension, diabetes, and heart failure. What else can you get? And they recover from COVID. So don't get so stressed, because the stress alone can cause problems to your heart failure. So the symptoms are real. We have this category of patients who have been tested positive, but they don't have symptoms.
Now, Wa Senior High School All Students Association has come to the aid of their alma mater by donating personal protective equipment worth 6,000 Ghana cedis. The move, according to the Wa Municipal Branch Chairman of the All Students Association, Dr. Solomon Dansier, is to complement the efforts of government in the fight against the spread of coronavirus. He made a statement at a short ceremony at the school. JoyNews' Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Wa Municipal Branch Chairman and National Coordinator for Educational Programs of all students of Wa Senior High School, WASOSA, Dr. Solomon Dansier, presented a personal protective equipment worth 6,000 Ghana cedis to the school on behalf of the National President of the Association, Mr. Robert Yenang. He noted that they are not unaware by the directive of the Ghana Education Service as part of measures to combat the spread of the COVID-19, as parents are not even allowed to visit the various campuses to meet their wards. Their visit, according to Dr. Solomon Dansier, to the school is timeous and of necessity.
A few weeks ago, we received an SOS call from the headmaster to assist in acquiring more protective gear and sanitary materials to help in the fight of the public enemy #1 of contemporary times, Mr. Corona. We put the request on our various social media platforms, and the response was very good. We are not in the best of times that anyone will wish to be on an educational campus like ours. Parents are anxious, teachers are anxious, students are anxious, but they have to be here as a necessary evil because they need to complete their various syllabi for the final year students to take their exams, and for second year students of the gold track to also complete their program. This is a period of a global pandemic, and everybody would have wished to be home, but we all have to be here this morning. We have with us here 50 gallons of liquid soap. We also have 150 bottles of alcohol-based hand sanitizers, 30 pieces of face shields, 15 Veronica buckets, 202 rolls of tissue paper.
He has this advice for the students.
We would like to appeal to you that in your effort to redeem the time that is lost, you may want to resort to stimulants and other drugs to keep you awake so that you can catch up.
Now, a year after the inauguration of the Oti Region, the regional minister, Kwesi Owusu-Yeboah, says he is unhappy about the new continuous appendage to the Volta region. According to him, the region must be given the full autonomy to independently function of the institutions in the Volta region. Now, currently, the Oti region has some of its administrative duties, such as education and agriculture, being performed in the Volta region. Regional correspondent Peter Senu has more.
Oti Region is one of the 6 additional regions created in the December 2018 referendum. The creation of the region had some opposition from chiefs, groups and individuals in the region. 13 months after the creation of the region, residents say they are hopeful development will take off in the course of time. Basit Alabani represents the artisans in the region.
We are not in the normal times now. I believe that too is a factor. Now the government focus has gone on to the COVID-19 and its combat. So as we go forward, we are pleading that they should drive their attention to these promises that they've made to us as to the creation of the regions. We heard they will be giving us regional hospitals. We want to see it, we want to feel it now, so that we believe what the exercise we've all embarked on has yielded positively to our region.
Engineer Abuaji Nyampong is the Member of Parliament for the Biakuye constituency. For him, it has been a good 1 year.
1 year is a short time, but then so far it has been good because certain key decisions have been taken, like not concentrating all the establishments in one town. I know education is in Jasikan, Agric in a different place, and so on. It is a novelty that is going to help all the towns have access to infrastructure, to development, and that is very good for us, so that everything is not concentrated in one place.
Dixon Yao Jambibi represents cocoa farmers in the region. For him, Cocoa Board must consider establishing its head office in the region since it is one of the largest cocoa producing regions.
Separate us from the voter region and creating Oti, you have to enjoy from our cocoa productions.
So your major concern now is that now you need the administrative offices as a region.
As a region, there should be a regional office for cocoa production in Oti.
The regional minister, Kwesi Owusu-Yeboah, shares in his views.
Production is mainly from the Oti region, the Oti section of it. And yet, the Cocoa Board is not in the Oti region. So I think that is a perfectly legitimate demand on the part of our people, and I'll continue to pursue that to start time that we also get officers based here.
For him, the region's continuous appendage to the Volta region is of serious concern to him.
It is of very serious concern to me. Oti is being treated as though, as I said, we are always an appendage to Volta or to the eastern region, which is most inappropriate. We believe that having become autonomous administratively, we need to be able to be given the opportunity to chart our own course of development.
The following institutions are currently operating in the region.
For now, we have regional directors of feeder routes, of our own, of highways, and of urban roads.
For several months now, the minister and some of his key staff have been living in hotel accommodation. This is due to accommodation challenges in the regional capital, Dambai. Meanwhile, the Oti Regional Office Complex and bungalows are at different levels of construction. The minister's initial accommodation, which used to be the accommodation for the municipal chief executive, is under renovation. Until such time that all these construction works are completed, the status quo remains same. Peter Senu for Joy News.
As live on JoyNews Desk with me, Daniel Dazi. Daryl Kwao comes your way next with the latest in business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to business. My name is Daryl Kwao. More investors are still struggling to meet the requirement for participating in the Bank of Ghana's Forex auction. The regulators turned down $1.2 million worth of bids from some investors and commercial banks. The bond auction results showed that out of $71 million that was offered, the Bank of Ghana was willing to just sell $25 million to investors. The central bank sees this auction as one of the measures to control dollar support on the market, especially for firms that don't need the dollars now but in future. The Aviation Ministry says it is conducting investigations into the leakage of documents and boardroom conversations that fueled suspicions about the privatization of the Kotoka International Airport. Workers of the Ghana Airport Company agitated in response to the rumors of plans to sell the facility. So far, Sector Minister Joseph Kofiada has maintained under no circumstances will the airport be sold. In an exclusive interview with Charles Aite, he said these agitations were orchestrated by saboteurs.
We have undertaken investigations. We have identified some people who were the cause of the leakage. Some have even confessed. They have given some of the documents out from the ministry to airport company. The latest one that we saw was this concept paper and the executive approval that are transmitted to the board. That went from the board level to workers that should not have gone. And that we've also been able to identify people who are behind that. Now, the problem is that when you take action on these people, which is standard, usually such people get fired, get suspended, get interdicted. Now, if you take some of these measures, people don't understand. And give the euphoria about the labor and about them saying this, somebody thinks you're victimizing someone. So you have to be tactical about how you deal with this. And that's what is important for us to look at. But it tells you that Ghanaians are not sincere. They're not sincere and wanting to understand the benefit in anything. I'm a minister. You can say perhaps I'm a little better off to do than you, even though I know journalists have a lot of money. But let's say that we accept the notion that I'm better off than you. I don't have what it takes to invest in airport expansion. I don't have the money to expand the aviation infrastructure. I don't have the capacity to manage world standard operations of certain functions of the airport. If we are able to strategically look for one who can work with us on this, fine. The government policy is to create employment, which means more people should be working. You think the government would not be shooting itself in the foot to say that let's bring in a partner that will take over the management of the company and lay off people? It beats my imagination for someone to think that we're going to lay off people when we expand the airport in Kumasi, when we expand the airport in Tamale, when we're looking to construct the airport in Western Region or in Upper East Region. Who is going to work there?
So nothing of that sort is
nothing has even started to begin with.
Now, a Cape Coast-based electronics trader, John Oti, has landed a dream win of 20,000 cedis. He's winner of the NLA's latest Premier Lottery, Oti 787 Weekly. Bismarck Ausa has more.
John Oti is 20,000 cedis richer after emerging the 28th unique prize winner of the NLA's latest Premier Lottery, Oti 787. This brings to 4 the number of times he's won the game. Mr. Oti throws more light on what did the trick for him. I bought more tickets. I bought as much as 25 cedis within the week.
First one,
I won 2,000 cedis for the first time, 12,000 cedis for the second time, and I won 2,000 cedis again, and finally 20,000 cedis. I'm so excited.
In an interview, head of customer experience for the game, Richard Akoto Bamfo, reassured the public of the game being real.
So over 28 draws. And then we are here today after the big jackpot win, 208,500 Ghana cedis. And today we are also rewarding to John 20,000 Ghana cedis, who turns out to be our 28th unique prize winner. Star 787 hash is real. Weekly after week, we do reward people with big jackpot prizes.
He's also mentioned that a big prize is up for grabs this weekend.
This Saturday, a player can win 136,500 Ghana cedis. All you need to do is to pick your phone, dial star 787 hash now, and then participate now.
Oti star 78 hash is played through the draw of random numbers, and winners are determined by matching the selected digits with parts of their mobile phone numbers. And that's business for now. The news continues after this break.
And we end the week here on News Desk with a conversation with Kobe Spike Nkrumah. He's going to update us on the latest when it comes to the world of technology. Hi, Spikey, how you doing?
Hi, Double D.
You couldn't decide what to call me there.
Yeah, call you Daniel, call you Mr. Dadzi, or call you Double D.
Which you call me when we are not on air.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so Spikey, Spikey, tell me, what's the latest in the tech world today?
So, you know what happened on Twitter? High-profile tweeters got hacked. Kanye West, Joe Biden, Apple, so many accounts got hacked, and they were all posting, even Bill Gates, all of them, Elon Musk, tweeting that, hey, they're giving back to society, and so send about $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to a certain Bitcoin address, and they double it for you.
Yeah, so I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
I was tempted.
Oh, you were?
No, I wasn't.
Well, guess what? The account probably, the guys who were behind that made about $120,000 worth of Bitcoin before the accounts were blocked.
I'm actually surprised they didn't make more.
Yes, I was actually thinking they'd make millions considering that. But then again, not a lot of people understand how Bitcoin works. So to get people to send, Bitcoin to an address, it's quite a cumbersome process. It's not just like using your credit card to make a payment.
Exactly.
So yeah, they did. Now, the interesting part of what people are asking is, how did this happen? Did they get access to their accounts, their usernames and passwords? And it turns out that Twitter has certain tools, certain administrative tools that people, even mid-tier employees, have access to.
Really?
Yes. Now, these are very powerful tools that can allow them to get into Daniel Dad's account. And what happened was that somehow, some of these tools may have fallen in the wrong hands.
Okay.
And these people took advantage of using this to get into their accounts and tweet these messages.
That's quite unfortunate. What else is trending?
So, same issue. Everyone is wondering, why wasn't Donald Trump hacked? Why didn't his account tweet the same thing? Yeah, because...
So why didn't that happen?
Okay, so one time Donald Trump's account was blocked by a contractor, Twitter contractor.
Yeah.
And it seems that after that happened, they instated certain special protection for his account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so because of this special protection...
So it's like having added security for a Twitter
Exactly. So he wasn't, hacked.
Okay.
Or...
I want some added security for my account.
Well, I personally think that that could be the reason. But then again, the hackers probably thought, this wouldn't be something Donald Trump would do. Trump wouldn't say, I'm giving back to society, so send me. So,
that's so unfair.
I mean, they just thought about it and they're like, doing this, nah.
That's very unfair to Donald Trump. Kobe Spike, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Tech Talk. And that's it for Tech Talk. Up next is sports with George Adi Jr.